It's Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Friday!
Yeah, she was ready.
I forgot I had to do that.
You cracked a little bit, but I really liked your commitment.
Excuse me.
She did a Super Bowl halftime show.
That's right. It's Friday, October 11th. I'm here with Al, Brandon, Lindsay. I'm Tori. We got to get right to it. Rudy. He's at it again. It's all because of these two Ukrainian men who you see here with Rudy. Looks like they've enjoyed a few tasty beverages together, and I would say they're feeling no pain. Now, the two men were arrested yesterday for violating campaign finance laws.
They both look like the before picture for Hair Club for Men.
It's a dreadful photograph to the tune of, get this, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So here's the story to break it down. They were supposedly helping Rudy dig up dirt on Joe Biden's son. The president said, I don't know these men, but what's this? This is a photograph of the president with one of them. Now, here's the question. They were also leaving at the airport with a one-way ticket to Vienna, both of them. They had lunch with Rudy that day, and now people think Rudy might have also had a one-way ticket to Vienna. Two plainclothes cops arrested them at the airport trying to leave. Lindsay, I mean, this is on a bad plot of a bad movie.
And I get it. Where there's smoke, there's fire, right? We're looking at this. They're trying to escape the country.
What about where there's a building on fire? There's definitely
I can
fire.
say that this situation looks a mess, but I want to caution everybody on saying this is aligned with Trump so quickly. He took a picture with this person. He's president, right? How many pictures did Obama take with people, right? He's a very famous president.
Many.
So this is what I'm saying about just stand by and let's see, because Rudy Giuliani has dealings with these people, but the money that was donated to the PAC that Trump...
The fake PAC.
Yeah, whatever. That all is being held, and according to the Trump campaign, it's being held until this issue is resolved. So it's not like the money is being used for a campaign. So Trump is not actually involved in the campaign finance violation right now.
But as Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy, do you smell the stank that we're smelling?
My nose is clogged.
Isn't his other lawyer in jail?
Yes.
Okay, is that
Michael Cohen is
a
also
little weird
in
that his other lawyer's in jail? That's not weird to you?
I have friends that are unsavory also,
Dude,
but that doesn't mean I'm unsavory.
But Lindsay, he did drain the swamp, right? And he's running on that. Is he not the swamp monster?
Whom? Who?
Trump? The whole idea is I'm draining the swamp, and yet we're getting more and more and more of these problems. They're guilty. Manafort, Cohen, now Giuliani going to Vienna.
I think the problem is that we have no trust for Ukraine, right? If we say that overall, that we don't have a trust with the interactions of the people there and what's going on, we also have to say that we can't trust when they say that Biden didn't do anything, because that's where we got the information from. The prosecutor general saying Biden did nothing wrong here.
But can we
so
trust
if we
that
can't
Congress
trust them, let's paint it over and let's smell all the stank for everybody.
Well, let me smell the stank in Congress, because they approved $319 million to go all the way to protect the people in Ukraine, and Trump said, no, I'm not going to give that. That's stanky.
Let's smell the stank of $50,000 a month that Biden's son was making in Ukraine.
How are we talking about Biden? That's the amazing thing.
I just
feel like we live in a country of laws, and we live in a country where, like, there's you go through a process, Brandon. If you did something wrong, you go through a process. But, like, let's say you're dating somebody, Brandon, and you feel like she might be cheating on you. So you're like, let me see what's up. And you go to the airport, and she has a one-way ticket with the guy that you think she's cheating with going to Vienna. She did it. You're guilty when you get caught with two one-way tickets, because no one's ever bought two one-way tickets that wasn't doing something illegal. That's never happened in the history of anything happening. Something's very weird.
Right, and I said let's look at Rudy Giuliani, but let's take Trump out of it and look at the situation as it's happening.
Okay, as of right now, you're absolutely right. There is no connection, but it's stanky.
Well, it happened yesterday.
All right, fine. Speaking of the president, he totally went off on Joe Biden last night. You have got to see what he said last night at this crazy rally in Minneapolis. We've got the clip right here.
So now the Democrats are making a pathetic bid to save Sleepy Joe Biden. He was only a good vice president because he understood how to kiss Barack Obama's ass.
Classy. And outside, just look at these clashes between Trump supporters and pro-impeachment demonstrators. Yeah, it got so bad that police had to use pepper spray to break up the fighting. So to me, he reached a new level, and I'm just crazed because now he was going, where's Hunter? Where's Hunter? Like, the president's actually putting out a few, like, looking for one individual, and that's dangerous.
Wait, I just want to stop you because you're saying that yesterday you were laughing about the tweet where he said the poll sucks.
Yeah.
You came out of the soundbite laughing, and now you're saying, oh, this is such a new low. Like when he's saying he kisses President Obama's butt. We of course want somebody
he didn't say
to use.
butt. Say what he said.
I don't.
Right, because it's wrong.
He's trying to get her fired.
Because it's wrong. I'm trying to prove a point.
But a lot of things he said, I'm saying you're laughing at some, not laughing at the others. The point is that people were screaming also in the crowd, 4 more years, 4 more years. You saw people uproar in ovation at things. He said, let me go off script, and people started standing in ovation. So I think that you constantly keep pushing this thing that he's just like dying in the polls and all the Republicans are ganging up against him, but I don't think that's true. I think we saw last night that he had a crowd of 100,000 people that wanted to attend this thing. 20,000 could only get in the door.
That's fair.
And I think that we can't just sit there and just blame it all on him. Like, you got to blame it on the anti-Trump protesters as well. I'm standing in the middle of this thing, and you're looking at reports. Well, I wasn't standing like there, but like standing watching both sides, and it's like you're watching reports of anti-Trump protesters grabbing people's MAGA hats, lighting it on fire. Like, you're causing a nuisance. So there's no way we're going to come together on this thing, and we're headed towards some sort of civil war. Like, something's going to happen soon because they haven't even started the 2020 campaigning yet. So just think of how this is going to get. We're going to have a report.
I would think this is a start of a campaign here.
I'm telling you right now, and I hope we don't. I pray that I'm wrong. We are going to do a story up here talking about someone got killed at one of these rallies.
Somebody's already been killed.
But it's going to be even worse. No, I'm talking about at one of his rallies. Like, that was an neo-Nazi thing. I think at one of these rallies, there's going to be someone killed at one of these things.
Alan, I think it's already there. I do. I think we think it's already there. DBL Nation, we want to know what you think. Well, CNN hosted a town hall focusing on LGBTQ issues last night, and so much happened. Some are even saying it went off the rails. So first, watch what Elizabeth Warren said about gay marriage.
I am old-fashioned, and my faith teaches me that marriage is between one man and one woman. What is your response?
Well, I'm going to assume it's a guy who said that. And I'm going to say, then just marry one woman. I'm cool with that, assuming you can find one.
Burn. That was a good one. I thought it was going to come off, but it didn't. All right, take a look at this other moment from last night when a black trans woman grabs the mic, and Don Lemon, let me tell you, the classiest move here, he had to step in. It got heated. Take a look.
Black trans women are being killed in this country, and CNN, you have erased black trans women for the last time.
May I have the mic? Blossom, let me tell you something. The reason that we're here is to validate people like you. That is why we're giving, but that is why we're here.
Not one black trans woman has taken the mic tonight. Not one black trans man has taken the mic tonight. Yeah. Show me.
So, look, I thought he handled that beautifully. He lowered it, he de-escalated, and he allowed her to have a comeback. How do you guys feel about it?
I thought that the overall tone of LGBTQ rights is moving forward. I think you can even see a change from 2004 in the Republican Party. 19% supported it to 44% now. And I think you need to provide a space for people to speak their truth. And I think that Elizabeth Warren, as much as I hate to admit, she had a great point because I think that you can have religious values and just have your own opinions, but let somebody love how they choose to. You don't have to make laws banning them from doing so.
And there was another part of the night that touched me was there was a 9-year-old transgender American, as he or she called herself, and she was asking Elizabeth Warren, like, during your first week of presidency, what are you going to do to keep us safe in schools, to where the only thing we have to worry about is homework? And as a 6'4", football player, that entire time, I never really thought about that. You know, you can think, like, as a black man, I'm a target, but for these kids to be going to school and they're thinking, they're terrified, and I think Elizabeth Warren did a great job last night.
She had a good moment. Let's be honest, it was a good zinger. Now, this is a new one. Check out what the climate change protester did. This is crazy. This is a man who is visually impaired. He climbed onto a plane at a London airport and filmed himself doing it. Now, I'm guessing he immediately regretted this because he got stuck and had to be rescued by firefighters and was then later arrested.
He slid down the side.
Good stunt, good protest. What do you think?
I don't think he thought that went out through. I think, like, once he got out there, he was like, yeah, I did it. Oh, no. Yeah, this is why you spitball ideas with friends. And, I do think that you can protest, and I do like that he cared this much to do something. I feel like something's better than nothing, but like when you do stuff like that, it ends up kind of lampooning and making a joke out of what you take so seriously. So I would rather, I'm not saying you have to do a quiet protest. I'm not for those. If you need to not step into traffic, but do something to disrupt people, to pay attention
Civil
to the issue,
disobedience, absolutely.
I'm fine with that, but that's kind of dangerous.
I don't know. I have a problem with this. Because if you're gonna protest, like you said, do something, have a message. Standing on top of an airplane does what? You're not getting your, I mean, we're talking about it right now, but that's not that big of a deal. I'm looking at him like a dummy, like you're stupid. You're holding up my flight. I have somewhere to go. Now you're just sitting up there, now what? Now the different machines and stuff that they had to use to get you down, that's more of a carbon footprint.
Do you agree with Brandon?
I think that he's one of hundreds of protesters this week that got arrested for protesting, but I think that his was the most extreme, and it makes it look nonsensical, like Al was saying. It makes a joke of the cause. Right, he's trying to make a valid point, but on top of an airplane sliding off the side makes it a joke, I think, to all of us.
A 16-year-old missed school, sailed across the Atlantic Ocean, and spoke at a climate change rally or gathering. That's protesting. That's bringing some sort of
Maybe he was trying to take the plane to the protest.
All the time. He's just riding it like Tom
there
Cruise.
We go.
Maybe he was just really into Mission Impossible.
He was on his live stream, and the police were coming. He was like, oh, yes, security's coming. I'm terrified. Who wants security to come?
Well, when you go too far,
What if the plane would have taken off?
I know. I'm glad everybody's safe. I am. All right, well, DBL's live coming up. We'll show you how an extra pep in her step helped a mail carrier drop more than 100 pounds. It's today's Inspiring Heart Threads. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. A shocking new PSA compares youth concussions to smoking. But will this PSA actually do any good? Your comments, they're coming up next.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm Jeray Banks, makeup extraordinaire for Daily Blast Live, and today we're talking about some of my favorite red light beauty tips. Now, these are my favorite tips to get you through a quick fix without having to ruin your whole makeup sleigh. Yes, honey, I'm here to help you save the day. So, did I just do a whole haiku? Go ahead, sis. Now, to get back to our point, we're talking red light beauty tips such as how to put on your makeup. Now, I'm not gonna tell you the actual technique, but I'm gonna tell you which step you should be putting in your makeup. Now, I want you to think, what do you usually do, or most people do? We put on our base first and add the blush and the bronzer and warm everything up. It's a good time, right? But then, when we get to eye makeup, we almost always have this big mess underneath our eye. Think about that last time you did a smoky eye. I know, sis, it was a mess, for sure. That whole black cloud underneath, it's never fun. So, let's go ahead and think smarter and not harder, all right? Now, instead of doing our makeup first or our foundation first, I want you to start doing your eye makeup first. This is a great way that a lot of professional artists use to go ahead and make sure that we're actually helping to release or reduce time that we're using to correct any under eye fallout. It almost always happens, so this is the best way to help you fix those issues. Now, another issue, if you may have gotten a lot of fallout underneath that eye, going back to that whole smoky eye issue, we can actually take a little bit of an eye cream or moisturizer on a Q-tip and utilize that to go ahead and remove any excess makeup products that might be underneath your eye. A lot of pros wouldn't tell you, but I'm nicer than the rest of them, y'all. So with that being said, I want you to go home and try out using that double-sided Q-tip to take out any excess makeup from underneath your eye. And also remember that quick tip, do your eye makeup before your foundation. It'll save you a lot of pains later on in the day. Now, you can thank me later, guys, and you can follow me at Dre for the Slay for more beauty tips. We'll see you guys next time.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. A new PSA is tackling the dangers of kids and football. But before we show that, we want to warn you that it's actually quite an alarming PSA. We don't usually show smoking on DBL, especially children. But that's the whole point of this shocking PSA. So take a look.
How's everybody doing? We all right? Great job. You guys are doing it.
Tackle football is like smoking. The younger I start, the longer I'm exposed to danger. You wouldn't let me smoke, When should I start tackle? Choose flag under 14.
So I usually can tell by the studio, and everyone got real quiet, and it's very effective. Let's see what people actually thought about the PSA.
Okay, so Mandy from Facebook says, you can't equate sports to smoking. This is so dramatic and almost makes me more pro tackle football because I'm sick of society trying to soften the blow of life.
I love you, Mandy.
No, I think that this is true. There's actually a former football player named Chris Borland who was on the 49ers in this as the referee, and he got 2 concussions and retired after 1 season. So I think we have to listen to what people are saying. New York, California, they both tried to ban tackle football for kids under 12 years old. So it's something that we need to at least pay attention to.
When did Chris get his concussions?
You play football.
When he played as a professional, not as a young
Well, that's
kid.
what I mean. He's just saying it affects you. To retire after 1 year, Brandon, obviously it affected him very deeply.
All right, there's different levels of concussions and stuff, but it didn't happen when he was a kid. John from Facebook says, I used to think flag football was pointless and that kids should just jump right in the tackle, but not anymore. This PSA just really confirms that. Look, I understand that the more you play this sport, the more you are susceptible and you're putting yourself in the harm's way. I get that. But if you put a 5 to 14-year-old in Taekwondo, isn't that the same? You can still get kicked upside the head.
Or
when you play soccer,
lacrosse.
you can get, my sister has had a concussion, she's sitting here, she's had a concussion from playing soccer. I get it. But at the same time, this is toughening these kids up. These kids, tackle football is helping these kids, I feel like, in the long run.
All right, Al, do you agree? Let's see what they say.
All right, let's see. Marcos from YouTube says, this PSA is too extreme. Football is supervised and there are rules. Underage smoking typically is not. I think what they're saying, and I think what we're going to have to learn, and, you know, I'm going to always defer to Brandon because he played the game. I have a lot of friends that played football all throughout high school and college, and a couple that are still in the pros right now. But I just think any activity where you're constantly getting hit in the head is a problem. Women's soccer, I saw a documentary on that. There's a lot of concussions. Anything, boxing, where you get repeatedly hit in the head, you cannot have your brain hit your skull repeatedly. We've learned that. We saw Aaron Hernandez at 27 that had a brain of a 90-year-old. We've seen this happen to people, so this is real. So equating this to smoking, I think, is losing what we're saying. We need to decide what we're going to do with the youth because we, as adults, have to make decisions for them. Once they're 18, Chris Borland wants to retire, cool. You want to play for 45 years like Tom Brady, cool. But until you're 18, we're kind of in control of that, and we have to make decisions for these kids.
How do you feel about having 2 different leagues? Like, let's say up to 14-year-olds, there's a league for flag football, and there's still a league for tackle football as well. Like, I'm okay with that because I understand what this PSA is doing, and I understand what they're saying. But I played my entire life. I'm the son of a football coach. I didn't have a concussion until the last 2 years that I played professional football at, 31, 32 years old. So I understand what it's saying, but you can't just go around saying, oh, you're automatically going to have some sort of concussion by playing football. They're teaching these kids how to tackle with their heads up, how to tackle properly. That's where we are in this game right now, and I think these kids need tackle football.
All right, let us know if you guys agree. I thought it was a very, at least, effective ad. It got us talking. Interesting.
Sure.
All right, guys, a deadly wildfire is ripping through homes all over Los Angeles. Raquel, what is going on?
Tori, a man died trying to protect his home from this fast-moving wildfire. It's called the Saddle Ridge Fire, and it has grown to more than 4,700 acres, and more than 100,000 people have been forced to flee their homes. The flames ripped through more than a dozen homes in Southern California, and there is no containment in sight. And Tori, I'll keep you updated on this developing story.
Wow, that's so sad. Right now we have people without power to get
in NorCal, in
North Cal, which people are upset about because they could have fixed it. And now we have the Saddle Ridge Fire. We just want to give a big shout out to all the fire department and first responders. Denver Fire watches the show, and we're huge fans of the first responders. And I hope it all goes well.
Yes.
Coming up on DBL, an update on a teen hero who helped stop a school shooting. We'll tell you about his inspiring new accomplishment. And next, a postal worker's dramatic weight loss, how simply showing up to work led to incredible results. It's next in a super good Heart Threads.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about a remarkable weight loss. Watch how a mail carrier worked hard to get fit on the job. This mail carrier lost more than 130 pounds running on her mail route and found a healthier lifestyle in the process. Before she began running, Jamila weighed nearly 300 pounds. She and her husband were raising 3 kids. And she decided she needed to set a better example. After 2 years, she lost more than 130 pounds and also found she could get home earlier to enjoy dinner with her family.
I love that energy that lets off and the conversations that are upheld at the dinner table. So I run to do that.
Running is also therapeutic for Jamila, helping to relieve internal pain.
Sometimes the pain that's inside of us hurts more than that heat. Running helps relieve some of that pain.
Even when the going gets tough, Jamila rises to the challenge for her family and to inspire others to find happiness in hardship.
We can just continue to do it every single day, door for door, delivery for delivery, spread that joy. It can become infectious like a fire.
I love the dedication and the commitment. Great job, Jamila.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Hey guys, Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital team. Happy to be here on this Friday. We're happy you're here with us. Let's go to the desk and see what's going on with our host. Cool. Hey guys, what's happening up here? Hey. Sorry we're late. We had a little bit of technical issues. I know. How are you guys?
First of all, we are going to get into all of Kelly's stories. Everyone's been writing about Kelly. She's a new auntie.
Yes. I am not allowed to say what his name is until my sister, of course, makes the announcement, which is kind of
It doesn't matter. It's just, we're going to call it Cutie Patootie. We'll call it Cutie Patootie. Yeah, right. Patrick. Anyway, we wanted to get in the next break. I want to talk about it because people want to know everything. But I do want to talk about this poll. Not a pole dancing poll, but a Twitter poll. What age do you think kids should be allowed to play tackle football? Is it, we have it up all day. It's on Daily Blast Live Twitter. It's going to be, again, open all day. We're going to be doing these more because we want to get a temperature of how you guys feel. Under 10 right now is 8%. Who would play tackle football under 10 years old? 10 to 11 is 0%. 12 to 13 is 0%. And 14 plus is now at 92%. You kind of you kind of feel like maybe it's okay at 14.
Yeah, I mean, with my nephew, he's around like 11 years old. He plays tackle football, but I make sure that I work with him and teach him how to tackle. Like, it's inevitable, you know, like things happen in this game. You can't be like, oh, don't play, because you're not gonna, you know, you're gonna get a concussion. Like, I went through my entire youth without a concussion. Like I said, I went through college. I went through the first 5-6 years of my pro career without a concussion.
But do you think, the science also is saying, and I want to know what you think, did you have repetitive hits as a kid? Because they're saying it's not always the concussion, it's the repetitive hits that the defense kids play. When they get those over and over, it can cause CTE or issues.
I get that, but my response to that would be, as a kid, you're not hitting that hard. You know,
I've seen some kids get knocked out.
I've seen some kids. Yeah,
Is
I've
that
seen.
right?
But
Yes.
that's like a.
Is that a rare?
It's not necessarily rare. It just doesn't happen as much as you see in the NFL. Like these kids, when they tackle, it's like a collision and then they all fall to the ground type thing. There are some kids that are a little more advanced that they'll come, you know, they'll knock your socks off. But you know, it's up to the parent. You know, that sort of thing. Like I said, for my nephew, obviously, growing up in my family, he's going to play tackle football. I wanted him to play soccer up until 14 because I wanted him to work his athleticism and footwork and then go into football. But at the same time, you can get a concussion playing
Jeff
soccer.
always said you can get even more, I think, like
Playing
statistically
lacrosse.
playing lacrosse and soccer, you can get more concussions. But it's the repetitive hits, which is what you're seeing in these kids. I just want to know, too, what you guys think about the smoking aspect. Did you think that as a medical degree, did you think that was a fair comparison? You seem to not really love that.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if it's a fair comparison. I think it's meant to get people
your
to
attention.
stop
Yeah.
and like look and say, well, I definitely wouldn't do that. Well, they're trying to say, well, then why would you let them do that?
Do you like that? Do you think it's fair?
I think it's just a way to get people's attention. I don't think it has anything to do with smoking.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time to honor our Superstar of the Week. Good job, guys. We planned that.
Come on, Al, be a team player.
I
Al did not do it.
Al's not with the good things.
You may remember Brandon Biley. Back in May, he joined Kendrick Castillo in disarming the STEM shooter in Colorado, saving the lives of his classmates. Well, heartbreakingly, Castillo lost his life in the struggle. And to honor his friend and continue to protect others, Brandon has just become a United States Marine.
Wow.
We at DBL want to thank Brandon for his service and bravery. Whew. And in November, DBL co-host Jeff Schroeder will sit down with Kendrick's dad, John. He'll share intimate details about his son's life and how Kendrick's death has given him a new mission in life. You don't want to miss it. Wow, I didn't expect that. But you see 9/11 firefighters' kids are now 18, and a lot of them have joined to become firefighters. And it's like just an unbelievable emotional response.
Yeah, it's true dedication to your country. And I mean, I already know, like, that interview Jeff's got coming.
Oh my gosh.
That's going to hit us hard.
Worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Right, but it needs to be said.
It does.
It needs to be
We have
said.
to talk
Bravo
about it.
for your service, sir. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Be good to each other. Bye, guys.